at the Messiah.
Thanks to telescopes, we have seen some truly unbelievable and amazing places in our universe. We introduce you to such a place, a distant nebula called the Witch Head Nebula, which looks eerily like a woman's face deep within the cosmos. Our universe is full of stars, just like our sun. Just like everything else, these stars die with great explosion called a supernova, and as a result, large amount of gas and dust are thrown out. These distinct bodies of giant clouds of dust and gas, which are thus formed, are called as nebulae. The nebula then acts as a cradle for many new baby stars. It was nicknamed the Witch Head because it looks like a profile of a wicked witch right out of a fairy tale. Located about 900 light years from Earth.
So if she just said that it's located about 900 light years away, and you can't see it unless it's a star, and you can't see it unless a star is nearby enough to reflect its light so that you can see the nebula, and you only see me in the frame, what does that tell you? That's what that is, because you're looking at the star talking to you as I drive this car. And that's where you are, in the dog star system, the Sirius system. Let's go to the next screen. What are the odds that when I raise my arms up in the sky, that the face appears and the clouds part in the sky, showing you the face and her how high, the moon, showing you the twin within, and not too soon, a moon.
And about 50 light years long, the Witch Head Nebula is a reflection nebula. It means that this giant cloud is illuminated by nearby stars, so the nebula is basically reflecting the light emitted by the stars.
Now, if I just told you and showed you that I'm the dog star as I zoomed into my soul and showed you my whole car. So Sirius, the dog star, God, the dog, the D-O-G, the dog, the God star. You understand the reverse of that? That's what that is, because you're looking at the star talking to you as I drive this car. And that's where you are, in the dog star system, the Sirius system. They say the Witch Head Nebula cannot be seen because it's... So when you see the planetarium's diagram, and NASA's diagrams show you what the rainbows and colors of light look like when you're face on to the Milky Way, and you see me standing in front of the fire, and it's reflecting it, just like you see mirrored there, like an ire, wires of an ire. Do you see inside her? What are the odds? How is that happening? Do you understand? My resurrection already happened. I've been saying it for a couple years now. So maybe a physicist or someone will open their ears and see how, and teach us all more as I show from the core. You see all my scruff looking rough? That's because the past couple weeks have been tough. Laying on the floor, settling the score, 444, opening the door. I know you think you're looking at that, but you're really looking at this. And most importantly, you're looking at this.
Life would still never have formed without a complex series of processes inside stars that converted helium and hydrogen into heavier elements like carbon that form the basis of all living beings.
There's a sort of obsession in physics, which is to try to unify things, to simplify complicated phenomena into one sort of single underlying phenomena. And that's true with the forces particularly. And unifying the different forces in physics has been a sort of ongoing quest since Maxwell unified electricity and magnetism in his equations back in the 19th century. So this is a rather confusing graph, unfortunately. I don't know why it's produced this way, but it's upside down. But basically what you've got here, this axis is the strength of the three different forces in the standard model, except they get stronger as you go down rather than going up. But don't worry about that too much. Now, if you do experiments and measure the strength of these forces, what you find, rather curiously, is that the strength of the forces change as you go higher and higher in energy. So that basically means if you have some collider and you bash particles into each other, the harder you hit them into each other, the forces, the strength of these forces alter, essentially. And what you see in the standard model, if you do experiments at higher and higher energies, and these are energies that are way higher than we can actually produce in an experiment, but this is done with theoretical calculations, you find that at some very, very high energy scale, there is a point where these three lines, the electromagnetic force, the weak force, and the strong force, sort of come together a bit, but not quite. If you introduce supersymmetry, these lines meet rather exactly at a particular place, labeled unification. And this suggests that with supersymmetry, these three forces are unified into some single overlying force, which possibly should be called the force. And so that's another reason for liking supersymmetry. It unifies these three apparently disparate forces into one. Actually, we've already unified these two. That's partly what the Higgs is involved in, but never mind about that. It's just a strong force. The other thing that reason to like supersymmetry is that we now double the number of fundamental particles to discover, so people like me are kept employed for a very long time. So that's good.
Have you ever analyzed pictures or video of yourself and wondered how you were actually in the photo? So that's why ascension is so important to pay attention to as they're trying to create different verses and curses to make sure that you don't realize how much you are worth it. That's why things are the way they are. Like, what is going on here? Then I realized that when I saw myself projecting on my computer that day, and I was so scared trying to figure out what it was, then I realized it was me driving my soul, since nobody realizes that's Pacao. The 8 aha was how. And that's now, and that's the 10 card. X marks the spot. X marks the spot. Mark in the Bible is the moon, do you understand? The moon is also what you see at my mirror, which is also the Holy Grail. That's why you see me connecting Lion of Judah, projecting from the side, Lion's Pride from the side at the 5-5, technically at the 4-4, because that's my 4-door, and that's the corridor.
I don't know a single scientist who would disagree with the statement that the world is exceedingly ingenious. Not just mathematical, not just beautiful, not just elegant, but the manifestation of something truly extraordinary.
Okay.
1 in a quintillion. That's how precise things had to be for us to be here.
But even though the Big Bang was perfectly calibrated, intelligent life would never have formed if matter had spread evenly across the universe.
So we needed slight irregularities in the distribution of matter in the universe. Had those irregularities been much smaller, stars and galaxies wouldn't have formed. Had they been much larger, everything would have collapsed.
But even with the right distribution of matter throughout the universe, how could this extraordinary fine-tuning of the universe be anything less than unmistakable evidence of a divine creator?
Most physicists' take on this is actually not to go in that direction. When you see something that's finely tuned in physics, it usually means there's a mechanism that you don't yet understand that is playing a role there.
That's why I am thee, and why I'm allowing you to see.
But the Witchhead Nebula is extremely difficult to spot, even with the telescope, as it is very faint. The nebula has a distinct blue color, partly due to the blue color of its star, and partly as a result of dust particles within the nebula, reflecting blue light more efficiently than the red. A similar process is responsible for making our sky appear blue. Such a wonderful nebula. The universe never ceases to surprise us. As they say, the universe is infinite, and so is its innumerable wonders.
Hey you guys, welcome to the channel. This is Universe Soul University, where I teach you about your soul. Not about yourself, about your soul. One day, this will be your campus, where it looks like a spa. That way you can know who you are. Yeah. because your soul is the only way that you'll be whole. And the way that you can be whole is by knowing how to communicate with your soul. And how am I going to do that? By walking you through my reincarnation experience. That way you know where to go.
Showing you all the things you've never seen.
And super clean without a green screen. You catch that? So, back to your welcome package.
This one's for the cynical, so I'm keeping it minimal. If you lie to your eyes, the truth will remain in disguise. Watch me control the smoke, and try not to do what I just said.
The transmutation process is the smoke that you see swirling before my face. Swirling before my face. Swirling before my face. As this swirl continues to spiral, and becoming a thunderstorm across your screen, now clearing the way for my conversation. Now clearing the way for my conversation.
Tradition tells us that the army of the Messiah is not to come from heaven, but is to arise from inner earth.
That's why I'm sublime. And this will be how I wish for you to have truly grown. I'm willing you're healing, because that should be the feeling. I'm willing you're healing, because that should be the feeling. I'm hoping you're feeling all of the healing. This is what it looks like when you're the Serpent King, the creator, and your workers drop the meteorite so that you get more of your memory back, making sure that it lands looking just like you. So that all of you know it's true. Because as you can see, I do. Catch up.
On the day of declaration, which will be arranged, of course, on a certain day, when enough people are responding and demanding that we let this man speak to the whole world. He's already well known, been on media all over the world, and people are clamoring to hear him speak to the world as a whole.
While streams of water spouted and flames flashed from his body, shooting out to the very edge of the universe.
That'll remind you again who it is you're speaking with.
Krishna or Maitreya Buddha or the Christ, the Messiah, all these names apply to him.
And most people are going to learn things that they've been waiting to know for so long, because I am the intersection of religion and science, the actual intersection. You're looking at it. Never forget my name, because nothing in your life will ever be the same. You better get up to date. And I ain't gonna talk to you like this every time, but don't get it twisted. I'm gonna give it to you just like this whenever I need to. Because if you ain't paying attention and you sitting there praying in the wrong direction, if you are not paying attention to all the opposites that they have laid in front of you, and if you don't back it up and see what the hell I've been talking about from the get-go, because that's what they've been trying to keep you from. That's why they pulled all those different things out the Bible. That's why they don't talk about that in reincarnation. That's why they don't even know no good about this and the third. If I were you, I would Google, try to figure out what know what's true, get your prophecy information up to date. And if you're over here listening to them fools that say that, oh, it ain't got nothing to do with Hopi and this and third, I'm not here to debate with you. I'm here to crystallize your soul. I'm here to merge and give you clarity. And if that's a problem for you, carry on. Because all of that is on me and temporarily free.